Gita is called This chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called King of Education because it is the essence of all doctrines and philosophies explained before. Among principles, principal philosophers in India are Gautam, Kanad, Kapil, Yagnavalkya, Shandilya, and Vaishnavanara. And finally, there is Vyasadeva, the author of Vedanta Sutra. So there is no dearth of knowledge in the field of philosophy or transcendental knowledge. Now, the Lord says that this ninth chapter is the king of such knowledge, the essence of all knowledge that can be derived from the study of the Vedas and different kinds of philosophy. It is the most confidential because confidential or transcendental knowledge involves understanding the difference between the soul and the body and taking and the king of all confidential knowledge culminates in devotional service. Generally, people are not educated in this confidential knowledge. They are educated in external knowledge. As far as ordinary education is concerned, people are involved with so many departments: politics, sociology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, engineering, etc. There are so many departments of knowledge all over the world and many huge universities, but there is unfortunately no university or educational institution where the science of the spirit soul is instructed. Yet, the soul is most important part of the body. Without the presence of the soul, the body has no value. Still, people are placing great stress on the bodily necessities of life, not caring for the vital soul. The Bhagavad Gita, especially from the second chapter on stresses the importance of the soul. It is very beginning. In the very beginning, the Lord says that this body is perishable and that the soul is not perishable. Antavanta ime deha nitya asoktaha sariranaha. That is the confidential part of knowledge. Simply knowing that the spirit soul is different from the body and that its nature is immutable, indestructible, and eternal, but that gives no positive information about the soul. Sometimes people are under the impression that the soul is different from the body and that when the body is finished or one is liberated from the body, the soul remains in a void and becomes impersonal. But actually, that is not the fact. Now, can the soul which is so active within this body, be inactive after being liberated from the body? It is always active. If it is eternal, then it is eternally active, and its activities in the spiritual kingdom are most confidential part of knowledge. These activities are these activities of the spirit soul are therefore indicated here as constituting the king of all knowledge, the most confidential part of the knowledge. So here in this sloka, um, it is talking, Prabhupada is mentioning about Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam. Raj Vidya is the king of knowledge, and Raj Guhyam is the secret, the confidential knowledge. So this king of knowledge is very confidential. And then Prabhupada has explained, right? No, knowing about the soul is knowledge. So when we know about the soul, uh, we can say we are in knowledge. That's covered in the chapter 2. But the activities which are being performed by this soul, that those activities are the secret, that confidential knowledge. So this is the secret. So generally, like when uh, the secret, if you have got some gold or something or some secret, if you have got, you will try to keep this confidential, or if you will try to hide this so that it is not stolen. In the similar manner, this knowledge, which is devotional service, which is done by the soul, the activities of the soul, is devotional service, is kept in the middle chapters of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita can be divided into three parts: the first six chapters, middle six chapters, and the last six chapters. Krishna, while giving the Bhagavad Gita, while explaining the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, has covered devotional service in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita, because, and then he indicates this is the secret part, most confidential part of the knowledge. So it surpasses all the forms of knowledge. So there are multiple yogas, all the knowledge we can say, Gyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and all those things, which are also been covered earlier in first during before these chapters. But this from this chapter, Krishna is saying Bhakti Yoga, which is devotional service, is the king, is the confidential knowledge because it surpasses all forms of other knowledge. So Bhakti Yoga is the devotional service. So devotional service is like a trade secret. Right? Trade secret, Pepsi is like Coca-Cola. Companies like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, they have their trade secret as their taste of their cold drink. They don't reveal that. So things like many things which can be patented or copyrighted, but the trade secret cannot be patented, cannot be copyrighted because that's the secret. And then the company who has that who has that trade secret of that company they don't want to reveal it. In the similar manner, devotional service is the trade secret of Krishna, which is meant for devotees. So once we gain the knowledge that soul is the soul, we are not this body, we are the soul. We take step towards purifying our intelligence, and then gradually comes to devotional service. And when we gradually comes to devotional service, that is where this secret which is called bhakti yoga is revealed to us by Krishna. Like in yesterday's class, which Kartikeya Das Prabhu was taking in our temple, I'm not sure if all of you have attended it or not. Prabhu was also speaking on the same topic, which is devotional service. Prabhu was mentioning many people take different path. They go through Gyan Yoga, or they do a lot of other mistake. They try to take multiple mistake powers. They take other forms of yoga, which is like pranayam and all those things, right? But at the end, everyone has to reach bhakti yoga. So even if they are taking that path, they have to ultimately come to bhakti yoga. Then only they can go to Krishna, back to home, back to Godhead. But these mundane scholars, these intellectuals, they think we have gone so much of knowledge. We are the jnanis, and since we have all this knowledge, we are powerful. We are highest among everyone. But Prabhu was mentioning even a person who is not studied as well, who hasn't gone to school to take material knowledge, if he is following the path of bhakti yoga, he should be considered the highest, because the person who is performing bhakti yoga is involved in the devotional service or transcendental service. And these so-called gyanis, they'll not be able to understand the taste or the happiness which one gets while rendering transcendental service. So, like one example we can take is Uddhav. Uddhav, when he was in the Gyan Yoga, and when he got to know Krishna, in people in Vrindavan are crying for Krishna. People are not. People are waiting for Krishna. They are not able to bear the separation from Krishna. He offered Krishna that I will go and teach them Gyan. He give them the knowledge. By hearing the knowledge, they will understand, and uh, they will come get back from whatever the position they are now. But when he actually went to Vrindavana and met gopis or Gopa boys or Mother Yashoda and Mother Yashoda and all the gopis, everyone in Vrindavan, when he met, he got the transformation. He was elevated to the Prem Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, because Bhakti Yoga is the highest form. And that when he comes back to Krishna, he explains that now I have attained the real knowledge, which is Bhakti Yoga. All this Gyan Yoga can what to say, like with this Gyan Yoga, you can just have the bookish knowledge, but when it comes to Bhakti Yoga, that is the experience which you that is the uh, practical application which comes into picture, and that's where you connect yourself to Krishna, and that's where the one-on-one relationship is being established. Kartika Prabhu was giving the example of Rup Goswami. Rup Goswami is also a Rup Manjari in the form, in the abode of Krishna, but then he was simultaneously present here as well and was performing the activities at both the places. What Gyan is, they can take multiple forms, but in those multiple forms, they cannot do multiple activities. Like in Krishna, he was present to all the queens who he has married, like 16,101, and he was simultaneously present in every palace with his queens, and he was doing different activities, but that cannot be achieved by of course he is Krishna. Some devotees like Rup Goswami was also present multiple times, has uh, was there in this world and that world. Prabhu was explaining, but yogis, they can expand into nine forms, but all the forms will have the similar activities. They cannot differentiate the activities. So he was explaining the same thing there as well. So how we can understand, we actually started tasting the bhakti yoga, or we actually started getting into bhakti yoga once we go through the association, chanting, all the process of purification. We gradually we see, we observe, practically we observe our from tears starts falling from our eyes whenever we hear Krishna Katha, or whenever we think about Krishna. So at that time, when tears are rolling automatically from your eyes, we can understand, okay, we are now getting reciprocation from Krishna, and we are moving towards the path of Bhakti Yoga. Now we are entering into the Bhakti Yoga, and that's where you need to start relishing your relationship with Krishna. That's where you start relishing, you feel satisfied. Srila Prabhupada, in his one of his lecture, he also mentions, only by actually following the bhakti path, not by speculation, one can fully understand or grasp the supreme secret. So it's not the mental speculation by which we can understand Krishna. It's the process of bhakti, and once our heart gets purified, we come to the path of bhakti, which is of course where we need, of course, the mercy and blessings of Guru. Then we can come, then we'll be able to take the path of bhakti. Without the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we'll not be able to take the path of bhakti at all. So if we are in the path of bhakti, we should thank our Guru, and we should thank Krishna that uh, he brought us to this Krishna conscious moment, and he's helping us grow. Our Guru is helping us grow in this the best moment. Okay, so we'll read further. It's showing my internet connection is still. Am I audible properly?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu. Clear, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu, for confirming. I'm just trying to find out till where I can go. I think till here. This one was completed. Okay, this knowledge of the is the purest form of all activities, as explained in Vedic literature. In the Pan Purana, man's sinful activities have been analyzed and are shown to be the results of sin after sin. Those who are engaged in fruitive activities are entangled in different stages of and forms of sinful reactions. For instance, when the seed of the particular tree is sown, the tree does not appear. The tree does not appear immediately to grow. It takes some time. It is first a small sprouting plant, then it assumes the form of a tree. Then it flowers and bears fruit. And when it is complete, the flowers and fruits are enjoyed by persons who have sown the seeds of tree. Similarly, a man performs a sinful act, and like a seed, it takes time to fructify. There are different stages. The sinful action may have already stopped within the individual, but the results of the fruit and that sinful action are still to be enjoyed. There are sins which are still in the form of a seed, and there are others which are already fructified and are giving us fruit, which we are enjoying as distress and pain. As explained in 28th verse of 7th chapter, a person who has completely ended the reactions of all sinful activities and who is fully engaged in pious activities, being freed from the dualities of this material world, becomes engaged in devotional service and to the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, those who are actually engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Lord are already freed from all reactions. This statement is confirmed in Padma Purana. अपराधः फलं पापं कुतं बीजं फलोन्मुखं कर्मणैव परिलीयेत रतात्मनाम्. For those who are engaged in the devotional service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, all sinful reactions, whether fructified in the stalk or in the form of seed, gradually vanish. Therefore, the purifying potency of devotional service is very strong, and it is called Pavitram Uttamam, the purest. Uttama means transcendental. Tamas means this material world or darkness. And Uttama means that which is the transcendental, which is transcendental to material activities. Devotional activities are never to be considered material, although sometimes it appears that devotees are engaged in just like ordinary men. One who can see and is familiar with devotional service will know that they are not material activities. They are all spiritual and devotional, uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is said that execution of devotional service is so perfect that one can perceive the results directly. This direct result is actually perceived. And we have practical experience that any person who is chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, in course of chanting without offenses, feels some transcendental pleasure and very quickly becomes purified of all material contamination. This is actually seen. Furthermore, if one engages not only in hearing but in trying broadcast the message of devotional service, devotional activities as well, or if he engages himself in the missionary activities of Krishna consciousness, he gradually feels spiritual progress. This advancement in spiritual life does not depend on any kind of previous education or qualification. The method itself is so pure that by simply engaging in it, one becomes pure. So here, Prabhupada has explained that devotional service is such that if you are engaged in the devotional service, all your sins will get vanished. Can someone give the guarantee like this in this material world? No one can give that guarantee, but Krishna is giving that guarantee here, that if you are if you are on the path of devotional service, he will take care of all those sinful reactions, or any kind of reactions whatever is going to come to you, whether they have fructified or not, that will be vanished. Krishna will remove them in just uh, in just a small uh, fraction of second. This will happen only when we are on the path of devotion service. We are actually practically properly following uh, the path of bhakti. That is we are, that means we are keeping Krishna in the center. We are doing the activities as per the desire of our guru, the spiritual master, and Krishna. Like Prabhu, yesterday Kartikeya Das Prabhu was giving example of Prabhupada. He at the age of 69, Prabhupada went to US. Can someone imagine to travel outside, uh, travel at this age, leaving everything of his hometown, leaving the comfort of his hometown? Nobody will think about it. But Prabhupada, he went to US just to please his Guru Maharaj, just to please Krishna. He kept his own desires, own personal, uh, what you call, personal desires aside. He was there. He was considering Krishna's and Guru's desire first. That's how we need to perform. Then Krishna says, once you, that if we are doing that, if we are keeping our personal agenda aside and doing what Krishna wants us to do, whatever Krishna's desire is, then we are on the path of bhakti. We are on the path of devotional service. And then Krishna guarantees your sinful activities will be taken away quickly. We of course we all want our sinful reactions, all the reactions to go, whatever we have accumulated over the period of time by taking so many births and birth after birth, right? We all want to go back to Krishna. So check up to Krishna, this devotional service, all those uh, ac- karmas will go away, and we can reach to Krishna in lifetime itself. And Pratyaksh Vagam. So Pavitram Uttamam is purest, and then Pratyaksh Vagam is the direct, most direct. So this devotional service, this path, this confidential knowledge, which is Bhakti Yoga, is the purest form of yoga. As I said, mentioned earlier, right? When Uddhav realized it, he was explaining this is he was coming after coming back. He was mentioning this is the real taste which I've got now. That is this devotional service, this bhakti part of all the all the yogas which one can perform. And Pratyaksh Vagam is the direct. This path is described as Pratyaksh Vagam, means its results can be directly perceived, and its results can be directly perceived and experienced by the one who is practicing the devotional service. We can take an example, like imagine a company who is selling water purifier. They are promising that the water purifier, if you use of our company, it will give pure and safe water. But what matters here is it's not what they are advertising. What matters here is the direct experience when we drink that water. Is is it is it improving our health, or is it able to, what do you call, it is able to, it is whether it is not, it is contaminated or not, or it is able to improve our health or not. This we will observe over time, right? In the similar manner, bhakti is also said to be purify and uplift. So as I said, this is pratyaksh bhagam, which can be experienced. Once you follow this path of bhakti, you can experience the change in your life when you're living. So not as a theory, you can experience it practically while you are following the path of bhakti or bhakti yoga. Next, we'll read. I think we are short on time, so I'll just conclude it. I'll just instead of going through reading because it's a long purport, I'll just come explain and then we can conclude. So it is one other than, so we have covered till Pratyaksh Vagam, but it's also Dharmayam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Dharma means it is the real Dharma. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in the end chapter, in chapter 18th, Sarvadham Parityajya Mamekam Shradam Vraja. He says, leave everything and come to me. I will take care of everything. Yoga is the path by which we can go back to Krishna. So that what we have to leave everything and follow the bhakti path, because this is the real dharma. Whatever dharma we are thinking till now, that is all rituals. But we need to leave all those rituals which are present from like last 10, 15, 20, or you can say 1,000. But Krishna's promise is life after lifetime, from the time being we can't even imagine. And this knowledge which is coming to us is coming via the acharyas, or the guru parampara, which connects directly to Krishna. So we need to hear this knowledge from our spiritual master and connect to Krishna and follow him through this bhakti path. And then next is Susukham Kartum Avyayam. That is, this process is Avyayam. Susukham means it is uh, it is happily performed. Sukham kartum avyam. So sukham kartum means it is happily performed. Avyam means eternal. So this process is eternal and it does not, which means it not lose its value or benefit over the time. Whatever Krishna promises, it's everlasting. It's not like some companies offer which is there for a limited period, like 5 days or something. Krishna's promise is everlasting, and when we are on this path, we 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 are uh, we are able to experience that eternal bliss. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu also in his class explains that this devotional service is not mechanical or burdensome ritual. It is the bhakti which engages soul directly, uh, which engages soul directly in the service of Krishna happiness and fulfillment beyond the material achievement whatever we can have. So Prabhupada in his purport, if we would have read further, he gives an example, like if we are feeling hungry, and if we eat something, then we feel satisfied, right? But in this material world, everyone is, and Kartikeya Prabhu also was mentioning, everyone is doing service of one or the other person, but nobody is satisfied, because he was taking the example of in the service there are three things which are involved: the subject, object, and the service itself. So we need to fix the object and the service itself. Object is what we till now we were serving multiple people. We are trying to serve this person. If we are not satisfied, then we will move to other person, something like these things happens. But the object should be Krishna. If we keep the object as Krishna, and the service itself means if we move our activities whatever we are doing from other, you will feel satisfied. You don't have to search for anything, and you will get that eternal bliss and happiness. So, with this last few line, I'll just conclude it. So, this devotional service transform you from being materialistic person to a pure devotee. When you keep Krishna in the center or perform as per Krishna's desire. So, so we can remember this sloka with an acronym, as I always say. That this acronym is pure. P is for purifies, U is for universal, R is for and joyful, and E is for everlasting. So, with this pure knowledge, I conclude my session. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, you can ask.